When you see that field of blue, you know it can be only one place in the world. Boise, Idaho, on the campus of Boise State and home to the fabled giant killers, the Boise State Broncos. We've got a top 25 showdown in this one, both teams with an opportunity to get a statement victory. As we'll see the number 23 team in the country, the Colorado Buffaloes, taking on the 16th ranked team in the land, the Boise State Broncos. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. The Broncos will put total leather and we'll get started. Fielded in the end zone, it's Horn. That's the kind of mistake that throws off your game plan. Come out of the end zone and you're stopped at the 8. Here comes the offense on first down. He's going to pass. Bought a little time, lets it go. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. Second down coming. They'll line up for a second down play. Looking to pass. It's Sanders. Quarterback moving out of the pocket. Got his man on the right. He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down.
One of the things that makes this quarterback so dangerous is how accurate he can be when he's on the run. And he's a guy that's looking to throw. He's not looking to take off himself. Showed you that accuracy on that play to get the first.
And that will go backwards. A negative play, and that defense on high alert that time. After losing a couple on that last play, here's 2nd and 12. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And screens are all about timing, right? You want to invite the defensive line to fly up the field, and then you want to throw it right over their head. And you could tell just a little bit off, and the defense got in there so quick, got the quarterback hit before he could really get his bearings and throw the screen.
Fires to the right. Another incompletion on third down.
It's so nice when you know it's 3rd and long, you know a pass is coming, you worked on it all week, get your feet set at the sticks, understand that quarterback's got to be rushed, get him off of this spot. Nice execution by this defense.
This offense wants to send a message on the opening drive of the game. No punting today. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Grabbed over the middle. It's Horn. Well, they just drained all the suspense out of the 4th down conversion, moving the chains easily. And once again, you see how valuable the tough little slot receivers are on 4th down.
You isolate those guys, get the matchup you want, and now go win. Nice job by this offense, getting the matchup on 4th down, and the QB seeing it, throwing a strike, getting the first down.
He'll just keep slinging it. Fires to the tight end.
A nice job by the defense there tackling the catch and smothering the tight end. They know this offense is going to try to find him in the passing game in a lot of different situations. That time, perfect coverage, and nice job bringing the big guy down. Not easy to do.
Dropping back, it's Sanders. Using the quick game. There to make the tackle, but the big throw is good enough to give them a first down.
I'll tell you what, that's great execution between the QB and receiver. They look like they could execute that throw in their sleep. Quarterback took his steps, threw it on time. Great route by the receiver. Nice job securing the catch.
Just gets rid of it before the heat. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. He's going to let it go. And he drops it just a little too slippery in the hands. This drive was clicking along, but after a couple of misfires, threatening to stall out on 3rd and 10. Fires toward the end zone. And he's got it! Touchdown, Colorado!
Touchdown, Colorado. Number 5.
No backs with the quarterback as they line up for the 2. Linebackers trying to create some confusion. He's going to be stopped short of the goal line. The 2-point attempt is no good as they are unable to extend the lead.
Colorado 6, Boise State 0.
Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive.
To kick this one.
The ball bounces through the end zone, and it will be a touchback. The offense lining up for a first down play. Gonna run it. It's Genty. Smashes through. Not a lot of movement on that one. The defense in position.
You know, it's so important for offenses to want to keep 3rd downs manageable. The way you do that is by having success like that, running the football on 1st down.
Solid pickup of 4 on 1st down. It's 2nd and 6. The lone back's got it. Still running at the 40. He's off to the races. And they get him out of bounds after an explosive run, just chewing up yardage along the way.
Every time he touches the ball, you can feel the excitement from this home crowd because Palmer, he can go the distance with that game-breaking speed.
You're right, David. He's a special talent. I'll tell you, these fans, they come here to see this guy play because he has game-breaking speed. Stuff you can't coach. You saw it on that play.
They just changed the dynamic of this possession in a heartbeat, and now it's 1st and 10 from inside the red zone. Gets it out fast. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Great effort by the defense here. Offense trying to go wide receiver screen. How about the speed on defense rallying to the football?
And here comes the offense on 2nd down. On the option. And they'll bring him down after a short pickup. Boy, they'd love to pick up this conversion and go to work with a 1st and goal. They'll run the option. Now the pitch. Gets it all the way down to the 2-yard line. He was fighting for that end zone. And the Broncos racing to the line in the hurry-up. Here comes the option. And this offense hoped to just run it in, and the defense was having none of it. No gain. Ball remains at the 2. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
And that's a great stop by this defense. 2nd down and goal. Getting a lost yardage play. Now putting your defense in a better position for 3rd down.
Third and goal, where the fire purifies and separates contenders and pretenders. Wide receiver coming across in motion. He'll take it himself. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Broncos! You have to imagine we're going to see a bit more of these design runs as this game goes on.
No doubt. This is a guy that can run it. He can throw it. So what do I do? How do I stop it? Do I play pass? Do I play run? I mean, just it's very frustrating to try to stop this kind of guy, and you see the explosive capabilities and making it happen on his own.
He is stopped short of the goal line, denied on that 2-point conversion attempt, and this game is still tied. And we're all square as he's set to kick it away. And he takes this from inside the 5. And they'll get him on the ground as the offense comes out to start the next drive. comes the offense returning to the field. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Looking to the big tight end. Can't make the grab. Quarterback just missed him a little bit.
Nice job by the defense there, taking all throws away from the quarterback. He had nowhere to put that football in the field to play, so that ball obviously had to go out of bounds.
Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. I don't think that's the way they drew it up. Incomplete.
That's a throw the QB would like to have back. He just has to do a better job giving his receiver a chance to make the catch.
Dropping back, it's Sanders. Receiver looks it in, it's complete. How about that effort to get it out across the 20? They'll mark it at the 21. It's a first down.
At the 21-yard line. And that's a first down for the offense.
Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. He'll come out throwing on first down. Quarterback doing what he does best. He can move. Fires into traffic. Picked off. Got room on the return. They get him out of bounds, but a choke play to wrap up the first quarter, and this offense will carry momentum into the second. They'll try to open the quarter by cashing in on this big opportunity deep in the red zone. They'll keep it on the ground for first and goal. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
And you hear about run blitzes. This is exactly what a run blitz is. When you know the ball's coming up the middle, you want to bring those linebackers, get them closer to the line of scrimmage, and fire. Right when the ball snapped, he's coming downhill, doing a good job creating the loss. That linebacker really knew what was going on.
Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. And he's sprinting. He'll take it all the way. Touchdown, Boise State.
And the offense continues to run the football. The second rushing touchdown from the running back. The offensive line paving holes. Continue to feed this man the ball.
How about this? A two-point conversion coming. The option look. He'll toss it. He's not going to make it. Stop short of the goal line, and they are unable to extend this lead any further. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
Colorado, 6.
And it's caught from inside the 20, and here he comes. Probably needed to pick up an extra block or two, but as it is, he'll be stopped at the 28. And the Colorado offense is coming back onto the field. Boy, they hope this next drive is more productive after throwing a pick last time, Jesse.
Yeah, and the coaches did a good job of...
Oh, it's on the ground. Live ball. And the defense has it there going the other way. Oh, the big fella running to glory. Touchdown, Broncos. Don't just get the ball, score with the ball, and the defense did. That ball was squirting around on the field, finally corralled by the defense, and they turn it into 6.
And it's so hard defensively. Do I jump on it and make sure I get it, or do I scoop it up and try to make the big play? He chose to scoop it up, and it pays off, makes the big play, gets the touchdown.
They want to throw it. Got rid of it quickly, but it's incomplete.
Well, every coordinator has a couple of two-point plays in his back pocket. They dialed one up there. They didn't get it. Let's see how that affects the outcome of this one.
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. Colorado has the ball back, and the Buffaloes hoping to put their team in prime position on offense. This thing has sort of gotten away the last couple of possessions, they've been a little too generous, David.
Yeah, like a nonprofit, man, like a charity, giving the football away too much. Got to take care of the football, Jesse. Otherwise, you got no shot to win this football game.
You're right, man. At this level of college football, it doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter who you're playing. If you're sloppy, you put the football on the ground.
Oh, what a spectacular layout and catch.
Man, I love those guys that are willing to put their body on the line, and he does it right here, man. Just lays out. That ball's coming in. You can see it from several yards out, making that play, laying out, keeping the football from touching the turf. Great concentration, great effort by the receiver.
And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
Man, if I'm the offensive line, I got to do a better job initially protecting my quarterback. And then once he scrambles out of that pocket, he starts to go to the left, I got to stick with the play because then he gets whacked at the end of the play. And instead of helping my quarterback up, I got to make sure I protect him a lot better moving forward.
Stumbled to the ground.
He's just got a knack, doesn't he? Just finds his way out of things and scrambles outside the pocket and then makes plays, gets completions. It's just so frustrating for a defense to try to bottle a guy up like this with so much talent.
On his feet at the 40. They make the stop, and this running game moves the chains as they get the first down.
Well, that's kind of the advantage of third and medium, right? Is the defense, you keep them guessing. You can throw it, you can run it. That time they hand it off, and they pick it up.
And you can see the D drop back a little bit. It creates a little bit of space. The running back blasts through, gets the first down.
Tackled immediately after the catch. This offense has a second down play. The corners are walked up tight. Looking to throw it, Sanders. Unloads to the wideout. He's got it. Touchdown, Buffs! A great catch and run for 6.
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge. And also the anticipation, the timing. To be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone, that was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. And listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the clock.
The pressure gets to him. Quarterback is sacked, and the two-point attempt is denied, and the lead stays right where it is. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. The ball squirts through the end zone. That'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. Boise State ready to send out that offense. And David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving what's happening right now because everything you dialed up on that last drive ended up working out. You're just looking at your play sheet. Everything you're picking is working. Let's see if they can pull it off again here.
Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42.
And after a successful run like that on first down, if you're the offensive coordinator here, maybe you're thinking about being aggressive and potentially taking a shot because even if it's incomplete now on second, you only have a short amount of yards to
We've reached the 2-minute warning, and we'll see if the offense can build on this lead before the break.
Let's go.
Second down coming up. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be third down.
In football, you hear the term quick, but don't hurry. And you can tell when you run these RPOs, the QBs want to make that decision quick. And I think he hurried it a little bit too much. Got the ball out quick, but obviously was inaccurate with his pass.
The give to the back. Fights off a defender. Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense.
And they just kind of sneaked that one in there as a defensive guy, 3rd and 5+. I'm thinking pass. They were thinking pass, Palmer, and they slipped the run.
And it's so nice then to have this guy at running back too, right? Because you could throw it to him on 3rd down or hand it off. And he's got the vision and the athleticism to go pick up that first, keep the drive going.
Line getting set on 2nd down. Wide out in motion. Quick pass on the jet motion. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one.
Got to give the defense credit. Watching film, anticipating. They knew that this offense had this play in their back pocket. They knew about the speed of this wide receiver and different ways they were going to try to get him involved. Everybody on defense on the same page, playing together. I love it.
Even if they don't convert, picking up a few would give them a decision to make on 4th down. It's 3rd and long from the 45. Wide open downfield.
Defense is about learning the plays. 3rd down, what do they like to do? How do they do it? So far, the offense having a little bit of success, but the defense now, you got to figure out what they're doing.
The Broncos have it with a 1st and 10. Looking downfield, it's Nelson. And he just overshot his man and threw it out of bounds, incomplete.
I think the quarterback just needs to settle down and take his time. Be confident knowing you can step into these throws. When you step into it, it'll help your accuracy. That throw, throwing it off his back foot, led to the incompletion.
Extending the play. Throws to the wideout. And he intercepts it. He'll try to take it back. The 30. And they capitalize not only on the pick, but the great return to give the offense tremendous field position. About the only good thing that happened for the offense on that play, at least it wasn't a pick 6. What a return.
Yeah, that didn't look good for the offense. You know all those big fellas, those O-linemen, they're not going to be able to go make the play. So as the DB getting the interception, you know if you can break that plane, you can get past that level. It might be to the house. It might be to the crib. Lucky that wasn't a pick 6 if you're on offense.
And when you play defensive end, it's all about getting off the football. You can tell, gets off the football really fast, gets in the backfield, gets the running back before he knows what hit him. What a play by the defensive end.
He's looking for an open man on 2nd down. Quarterback now breaking the field. Chucked it away just as he was hit. That pass is incomplete, and they're probably fortunate that it wasn't knocked free for a fumble.
The man, this quarterback is fast. You saw that on his ability to scramble around, but he wasn't fast enough to outrun that hit, and it was the hit that caused the incompletion.
Running out of time here in the first half, they're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. It's incomplete. He was shooting for the end zone right there.
Nice job by the defense. They're mixing up their look. They're 3rd and long in field goal range. They go zone coverage. So everybody on the back end has the eye on the quarterback, and they're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
One more play before the teams head to the locker rooms. On 4th down, trying to find his man. Looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffaloes! And
times you see the way people close halves, the way people close games goes so far in determining who wins. Nice execution by this offense late in the first half. Now they're just an extra point away from having the lead going into halftime.
And the extra point puts them on top by 1. So that's going to do it here in the first half. Stay tuned for the halftime break. And the Buffaloes will line up to kick off and start the second half. And he's going to run it back. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. Boise State has it back, ready to go to work on offense. They ought to have some confidence based on that first half performance, but they certainly can't let up in a game like this.
And I think this possession is really, really important. And I say that because they had a lot of success, but they're still losing because the defense can't stop anyone. They need to set the tone here in the second half.
And it's exactly that, David. You got to create momentum here early in the second half. You only do that by going out, marching the ball down the field, and scoring right away, trying to put pressure on the opposing offense.
On second down, will they go back to the ground game? On the move, it's Genty. Picks his way ahead, pick up a 3, and gets it to the 20-yard line. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. How bold will they be on third down after that last run? Looking for a man. It's Nelson. Quick completion on the out. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down.
There's a reason third down is called the money down. What a great find by the quarterback. Great job finding his receiver. At the end of the game, you look at third down percentages. It tells a huge story, and it goes a long way in deciding who wins a football game.
Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. And he was able to get away from one tackle, but plenty of help was on the way. Decent pickup on that play. On the option. And not even a chance to pitch it as he is slammed down in the backfield.
Loses 3. Third down coming up.
As they come to the line on third and short from the 43, I wonder if they already know they'll go for it if they don't make it here. Quarterback changing the plays at the line. Running with power. They've got it to the 49-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
And David, how demoralizing does it have to be for a defense when you know they're going to run it, everyone in the stadium knows they're going to run it, and still you cannot stop it?
There's nothing more demoralizing as a defensive lineman because it ticks you off. It gets in your head. You know that guy's going to come off and smack you, and you got to do something about it. I think the defense maybe time to start committing more guys to stopping that run, not worrying about the pass as much.
And the Broncos have their offense in high gear. Gonna run it. It's Gaines. And how about the efficiency on that one? It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, this coaching staff, they're getting this offensive line lathered up and into a rhythm. Now they're letting them drive off the ball on first down on these running plays, and they're getting chunks of yardage.
Got 6 on first down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4. The hand to the running back. He had all kinds of company as soon as he got it. He had to fight his way back just to get to the line of scrimmage. Broncos want to pick up the tempo. The offense showing motion from the tight end, trying to get a read on the D. He's got it again. They'll move the chains. Good execution on third down. They've got it at the 41.
Well, I know this is an offensive line that has a ton of pride. They want to come out each and every game and really impose their will on the D-line. They got just enough push there on that run play to pick up the first.
And the defense makes the stop after a minimal gain. And now on second down for this offense. Scanning the field, it's Nelson. Quick strike complete. And they'll stop him just short of the first down, just inches away from moving the sticks.
I'll tell you, this slot receiver, he really does give his quarterback a nice option. Runs really good routes. He's got nice hands, and you saw it on that last play.
Ball at the 31, third and short, coming defense trying to rise up. To the ground to try to move the chains. And the Broncos get enough to move the chains.
I don't need it to be pretty. I just need my inches. Third down in inches. Nice job by getting the first down. Always fall forward, play physical. Don't get east and west. Stay north and south. Nice job by the running back.
The Broncos with the first and 10. Now on the option. That is exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense finally able to make the stop. He'll ride his man on the option.
They're trying to go option, and they're trying to put that defensive end in a bind, but he's just way too athletic, and he guessed right. The quarterback was keeping the ball. He knew it and was able to make the tackle in the backfield.
That's the end of the third quarter. This is score. Colorado 19, Boise State 18.
They'll try to open this quarter by sticking it in the end zone here. They'll put the tight end in motion. They'll keep it on the ground to the left, stiffing the goal line. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
At this part of the field in the red zone, offensively, you're bringing all these tight ends in the game. You'd like to be more physical at the point of attack. That's why you're bringing the big bodies in, but they couldn't get it done up front, and as a result, it's a negative play.
They've gotten pushed back, but it's still third and goal. To the air, it's Nelson. Oh, the ball popped out. That's a way to mess up a drive. Now look what I found. I'd say that's a stroke of good fortune. The offense keeps it. So here we are on fourth down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. And it's right down the boulevard. And they go back on top.
All field goals are not created equal, guys. Kicks in the fourth quarter take the lead. They just seem to carry so much more weight. So give that young man credit for getting out there and knocking that thing through the uprights with all of the pressure, with all the eyeballs on him. He delivered.
And he hauls it in, and everybody's on the edge of their seats. Moving the running back, forcing the defense to adjust. Trying to find his man on first down. Caught over the middle. It's Hunter. At midfield, he's got room. And he's running in the open. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Colorado. They've got the lead here in the fourth.
I think one of the most underrated things we talk about with the QB is timing. Being able to get the ball out of his hands to his receiver where he can continue to catch the football and run with it. Nice pitch, nice catch, nice play in the fourth quarter when you needed it for this team to take the lead.
I'll tell you, it's tough to complete two-point conversions. Obviously, very small windows to throw into. Couldn't come away with that one. Let's see how that affects the outcome.
That one bounds through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. The Bronco offense back out there ready to give it another spin. Guys, that last trip a little disappointing having to take the 3.
Yeah, and I think, Jesse, you see so many offenses talk about getting yards and the tempo and all the stuff they do. It was a nice job moving the football, but they got to get in the end zone this time.
Yeah, and I think to do that, they just got to be more physical at the point of attack, get some push up front. They need to be the best running team in this game to win.
Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Takes the handoff. It's Genty. At the 35, he's loose. Gets it to the 42-yard line, and that's a first down.
When the running back gets going and gets ahead of steam like that, so hard to get to the ground. That's why you blitz. That's why you bring pressure. That's why you bring more guys in the box so you can get him before he gets going. But once he got going, you could tell it was hard to get a hand on him, hard to get him to the ground.
This offense will snap it from the 42 on 1st and 10. They move the tight end all over. They'll go to the ground. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3.
I know it's sexy to throw the football, but if you can pound it away and get these kind of gains, they will just add up, wear the defense down, get first downs, and ultimately get some points.
Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on first down. It's 2nd and 3. Give to the running back. And he is swarmed under a host of defenders there to make the stop.
They're strong and they're strong. Defensive tackles, they're strong. There's such big jokers in the middle where they just lock out those offensive linemen. And running backs, listen, they don't have much of a chance. When you got that 300-plus pound guy grabbing you around the shoulder pad, you tend to go to the ground pretty quickly.
3rd and short from the 49. Is this 4-down territory? They'll try to bully their way for the first. He just needed a yard on 3rd down, and there just wasn't any room to pick it up.
Well, it's 4th and short, and you're sort of in no man's land at this point near midfield. I think if you're on offense here, you're going to have to go for it. You're going to have to show confidence in your guys to get it done and go get you the win.
Down late in a 4-point game, they'll keep the offense on the field on 4th down. Movement here from the tight end. Trying to show their strength with the run on 4th down. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down.
I love offensive play callers that are aggressive. Going for it on 4th down, check. In your opponent's territory, now here's an opportunity where you might be able to be aggressive again and take a shot.
And the Broncos getting set on 1st and 10. The give to the single back. Spins away from the defense. And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup.
First down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another first down. Gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got a burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. And right now, he's doing some damage on this defense.
They have just bloodied their nose on this drive, all on the ground. It's 1st and 10. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
You know, when you're handing off to your fullback, oftentimes these guys need some space to work so they can build up a head of steam and get the speed going, but that guy didn't have anywhere to go on that one.
His drive facing a little adversity on 2nd and 11. He'll try the left side. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground.
It's going to be important this offensive line is able to get a little bit of push. You just got to give this guy an inch, a little crease, and he can make yards for you.
The Broncos have moved it inside the 20. The offense showing motion from the tight end, trying to get a read on the D. To the ground with the back.
And sometimes for the defense, it just takes one play, right, to create some momentum. Obviously, this guy's been eating him up. He's got over 100 yards rushing on the day. But finally, David, they get something positive here in the run game defensively.
But you kind of know that coming in. He's going to get his. Such a great... great day. Need to put more plays together like that right there.
Quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve every minute possible. Down 4 late, they have to convert on 4th down to keep hope alive. Quarterback checking off. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. There's a difference between being methodical and thorough and slow. They were slow, and they got the flag. And here we go, down a score. They'll go for it on 4th down. And with this place rocking, the crowd forces a false start. Defense more than happy to take that free yardage. The clock is relentlessly working against them. Down 4, they'll go for it on 4th down.